Hello, welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. Before we get into the show, housekeeping. The shows will be uploaded because people have been asking on Twitter and stuff like that, like, where's the show Monday? And it's not like I didn't tell you before. But shows will be out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Omnibus will be out Friday. And the last 2 Mondays of every month, you will get one of the bite-sized podcasts. Patreons will get both episodes of the bite-size on the first Monday of every month. So they get them like almost a month early. We were supposed to have Money Penny, who came out to speak about Ross Coulthard, on the show tomorrow. And unfortunately, she's pulled out of it because the UFO Twitter cult that have debunked cult are bastards. And they've essentially put her off coming out and talking to people, which is not fucking cool. Exactly.
Twats.
So yeah. I realize it's fun sometimes to tweet those people and remind them their bell ends. Like, I do it myself. I've been known for
UFO war.
Oh, well, no, I've been known for reminding that Lou Reviews, whatever he's called his failing YouTube channel now. I've been known for like reminding that person now and again that he's a fucking cunt. But I implore people, it's probably not worth it doing it now because the guy's opinion doesn't matter on it. Nobody cares about him, which I imagine everyone else in the world has fell in line with his own fucking family. So you should probably just let him fucking drift into insignificance, and he might stop being horrible to people.
Yeah.
The conspiracy world's fucked in it when it comes to like UFOs and flat Earth. It's fucked. People go in on each other for just having like a different opinion. Mm-hmm. It's wild. It's
Rich,
wild.
welcome back, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for anyone who's not on the Patreon, there's a random bloke. It's me, Rich, again. Do you guys ever get like shit for things you say on on your shows? I don't think I've seen it on X or anything.
People are usually pretty nice to us, really. I think, you know, all in all, like most of the comments we get are pretty nice. The emails and stuff we get, I can't think. There was one guy that was really upset with us for having what's his name? Now I feel terrible. Who's the podcast we did about the clowns last week, Ollie?
Oh, Paul Stobbs.
Paul Stobbs, yeah. There's a guy particularly upset with that, to the fact that I could tell he was upset because he Instagrammed.
He's scared of clowns?
No, he wrote the rebunk, like the bunk book to Paul. So there's a book on Amazon with one review on it, and I didn't look much further than that. I'm not going to criticize the book. I haven't read it, But
is his book by any chance The Nephilim Were Not Clowns?
Basically, his book is the Nephilim Looks Like Clowns. A review. It's one of those books.
Oh God!
And to be fair, I looked through the guy's X account, and like he has got a like biblical fucking like analysis of the Nephilim.
Do you know what? I'd be willing to give the benefit of the doubt. I kind of want to hear him out.
This is what
I think you should give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I would agree if he hadn't.
In Keir Starmer.
I'd agree if the guy hadn't come at me as a cunt.
Mm.
Do you know, if someone just turned around
once they come at you as a cunt, then it's a whole different strategy. Then isn't
I was there thinking this guy's obviously a prick. Like rather than just turn around and saying, "Oh, like yeah, you had Paul on, he's got that." I've actually wrote like a review of that book. You might be interested in having a listen to it. But yeah,
we've had something similar before.
Though, and the things that you don't touch, so that you don't get in shit, because the conspiracy world, man. Honestly, every now and again, I dip my toes into it as much as I can, and people just go in on each other, especially like the higher profile lot.
It's
Do you know
weird.
What I mean?
It is weird.
Well, Rich, tell us what you've been touching recently and what you've been getting into trouble by touching.
Oh, I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you, we're doing. I don't know if you've seen the hotels. There's like 26 hotels now that we're protesting outside of, the migrant hotels.
I've seen this, yes.
We've got staff now in the hotels wearing secret cameras. It's nuts. The footage that we're getting at the minute, so we're putting a documentary together on that, professionally done. We're going to Calais in October. We're doing a documentary there. We've got he's a Pakistani Muslim who is very much a patriot of our country. He's going to go undercover in one of these camps. Again, camered up, mic'd up.
Wow, brave
I don't know
man.
if you saw. Yeah, he's Shoaib. His name is. I'll send. He's the guy that I said on the last show. He was. He left and then was documenting his way back. Basically, he's a legal migrant, but he spoke up for British people, and he said no, they're not racist. And he sort of sided with those who or the media, the people who you would call sort of far right. He's like, no, they're just concerned. So he's essentially on our side, to simplify it massively. But because he's done that, the Home Office now, they've stripped him of his rights of like he's not allowed to work. He's not allowed to claim benefits. He's got a wife and a daughter here. His she's heavily disabled, can't get any sort of help with her. So he decided to essentially go back over to France and then get on a dinghy to come back to the UK to see if he and he's put it all on X. He's a fantastic guy. I'll put you in touch with him. But he's coming with us to Calais. And then I don't know if you saw this week just gone, there was a huge thing with the children who were as young as 5 years old writing Valentine's Day cards to migrant men as part of the charity City of Sanctuary.
So you'll be able to fill me in on that, because I read and I wasn't sure whether I was reading a like cover up type thing, or whether I was reading something that was factual. But it was definitely like a Guardian-esque article I was reading that was saying that it was blown out of proportion, and the people, the children that were writing Valentine's letters to the migrants in the hotels were the children of the migrants. And it was only them that was doing it. Yeah. I read it and thought, like, this sounds like fucking
Who
nonsense.
writes a fucking Valentine's card to the parents?
Outright lie. So my argument is this:
Joseph Fritzl's daughter.
I believe that no 5-year-old child should ever be writing a Valentine's Day card to an adult. They certainly shouldn't. 100%. They should be encouraged to do it. Okay, by other adults. That's for me. That's just that. However, I've got it on my phone. This charity have come forward. The schools have come forward and they've said, no, you've blown it all out of proportion. Yes, they were charity cards and Valentine's Day cards, and yes, they had things like, to my fiance written on them, and yes, inside the children were encouraged to pledge their love to these men. However, we're just doing it because migrants should feel welcome. It's like, what? Like, there is no justification. And I'm more than prepared to listen to them. We've reached out to the charity now, so we're launching what is essentially a class action lawsuit against the charity and the schools involved. Now, the schools involved the charity have basically got back to us and they've said, it was the school that led these activities. It was nothing to do with us. And then the schools, predictably, have emailed us and they said, no, this was a task that was set out by the charity. So straight away, they're passing the onus back and forth. So they know they fucked up somewhere. Otherwise, they just accept it, wouldn't they? They claim it. So there's that. But also, this charity have essentially they've got the children to write these cards. I love you to my fiance and all the rest of it, which is just fucking weird. But then what they also did, and what they didn't know that I already had because they've deleted it since, is on their Facebook account, they put the pictures of the cards up that the children had drawn. They put it on their website.
Yeah,
but then on their TikTok account, they uploaded a video of the children in the class at the time dancing, saying, "We love being a school of sanctuary." And the children's faces are on it. The school that they attend, the logo is all over their jumpers. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, if there were migrant men in this area getting these cards, or even if they weren't getting the cards, the charity is saying, but the cards weren't actually distributed. We can't prove that one way or another. However, these are men who come from places like Iraq, where the age of consent is 9 years old. Now, if they are receiving these cards from children who are, professing their undying love to these men, that they're going to pledge themselves to these men who come from these backgrounds, if they do have sort of nefarious intentions, they're going to read into this and go, they love me. That's the way I see it anyway. But also, then they're going to be able to go on TikTok, and they are on TikTok because I've got videos that refugees have recorded on TikTok from their hotel rooms of us when we're protesting. They're going to go on TikTok and they're going to see these children and the school that they come from. We only have to Google the school and then wait for the children outside the gates. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's like, that's me thinking in like, I wouldn't say a negative, in quite a dark way that they would do that sort of thing. But these things do fucking happen, especially if you have men like this. That's the sort of path I think they would take if they knew a school up the road has children writing these sorts of cards to them, and they're that way inclined. Of course, they pursue it. So I just think, for what it is and for what the charity and the schools are framing it to be, either way, it's a big fucking risk, isn't it, for these kids?
Well, you kind of nailed it there, because, like, what child? I don't know any situation that I can remember from my kids or from me growing up where I've written a Valentine's Day card to an adult.
I think I'll play devil's advocate here. I think it's fairly common for children to write Valentine's Day cards to their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
It just promotes incest. That to me.
Well, I've never known that, but I've never known that not be a thing. To be fair.
No, I know that.
Really?
Yeah, no. To be fair,
yeah.
I've seen that.
I've never written a Valentine's Day card to my mum. I've taken her out, meal, drinks, that sort of thing, and then see where the evening goes. But I've never written her a card. That's too romantic. I'm not in it for that.
Yeah.
I'm
not
joking, life, I'm joking.
It's all right. I've wrote plenty to Ollie's mum.
Oh God.
But right. So situation's fucked up. I think to anyone with a brain, the situation's fucked up. What I would be interested now in talking about is the charity itself, because I'm kind of past it now with the idea, like, because we're supposed to think that it's just some sort of progressive left fucking wank tank that decided this was a good idea. It's like we need to make them welcome. So why do we write the Valentine's Day cards? What a great idea, Sebastian. Because you know it's Sebastian that thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help think there's something else to it than that. Because it feels it's too on the nose. We're supposed to be outraged by this, rightfully outraged, but I can't believe somebody inside that charity didn't go, Seb, this is a fucking terrible idea.
Mm-hmm. It's wild, and it doesn't stop with the charity. And to put it into perspective, this charity, they have 6,500 followers on Facebook. I don't know how many they've got on X. It's just logged me out, but I think it was around the 7,000 mark. On TikTok, they had around 600 as of this time last week.
Yeah.
So they're not big. However, they're getting funding from HSBC. Hundreds of thousands of pounds in funding from HSBC, from Lloyds. They get, mate. We're going through MPs, because obviously MPs have to declare their expenses and all the rest of it. And if they want to make sort of charitable contributions, they have to declare it all. There are MPs up and down the country who have been given £2,000, £1,000, 1,500 quid to this charity. Now, as far as we can tell, there's about 5 people working for this charity, and all over their all of their socials, they've got 15,000 followers, something like that. So how can something so small and relatively insignificant as far as charities go get that level of funding?
Yeah,
how can they do these sort of things and the charity commission be okay with it?
For what reason? I mean, what's the benefit here? Who's benefiting?
SGA
because they're
score.
working hard to make sure that these refugees are they feel welcome in the UK. That's what they're all about.
It is right? It is SGA, isn't it?
Is what SGA? I've not heard of SGA.
The SGA score. That's the score that BlackRock use when give it. Sorry, the SGA score folds into the score that BlackRock gives companies and businesses and stuff like that. I think the SGA score is what your SGA score can only change because of how much diversity, equity, and inclusion you have within your business. So the more DVI you have in your business, the higher your SGA score, which is kind of like an Experian credit rating. The higher
I was going to say it's a credit rating, isn't it? For how woke you can be, essentially.
Yeah. So that's been massive for quite a long time. So the only thing I can think there is that there's probably a ton of little charities like that they pump money into it to higher their SGA score.
And do you know if this SGA score is it SGA score you're saying?
Sorry,
go ahead, Ollie.
I was just going to say, what have the fucking parents done about this? Are the parents suing?
Well, this is the thing. So the parents, there's been a few people come forward, and obviously we've got to be dead careful because we don't know if it's just people just stirring the pot, making things up. But we've had quite a few messages of parents saying, "Look, my children are in this fucking video that they've put up on TikTok." This school, there are 1,200 schools and nurseries taking part now. We've put the list out of all of the schools, and we've said to parents, "Look, go and speak to the school and find out what's been happening. Speak to the staff. At the end of the day, they're human beings, these staff. Just go and speak to them." However, a lot of these parents didn't even know this was happening. It's just happened. It's just it's a project that they've been doing in these schools. It's been going on for years.
I get it. I get that it would just be a thing that would happen. Again, I think it's a weird thing to happen, but it's the wall between education and the home seems never to be greater than what it is right now.
They're not our children. And that was a realisation I come to maybe 3 months after my wife gave birth to our little boy. He's 2 now, and obviously he's my little lad. I love him more than anything else in the world. I die for him. But as the days go on, I just think, we have literally no control over what they learn unless you quit work and homeschool.
Well,
And
this is
even then,
my
that's sort of regulated, and the Labour government are looking into shutting down homeschooling.
yeah. See, this is my thoughts. Well, because we had this discussion, didn't we, on the AI show we did the other about 5 episodes ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I think we are 2 years away from whatever model of AI it would be to be able to turn around to ChatGPT and say, right, I'm setting this instance of you up to homeschool my children. Like, I want you to create a curriculum. If I could do that right now, I mean, there would be a balance, right? Because obviously this is slightly off topic, but it's ways and means that we could decentralize this type of thing, and I think that's the more things that we can kind of to coin a term, decolonize, the better. And like, if we could, it wouldn't work for some children. It would depend 100% on households, because some children you would get children that are just stuck in front of that whatever their AI teacher is. They don't go out, they don't speak to anybody, and it would close a load of people off. I think if you were to do that, if you were to do AI tuition in junction with making sure you have a firm fucking handle and the dedication to making sure you socialize your children with other children as well, I think that could be a really good balance for a lot of people that don't trust the education system. And the beauty of that would be is that you could be in the same room as your child while it's being educated.
Well, one of the things that I've been very lucky since I started doing what I'm doing with the process and everything in the activism now, which I only started 5 months ago. I've met so many
It's
people
only
who
5 months.
Yeah, so
Wow.
mid-March I launched, and then our very first protest wasn't until May. We're only in August now, so yeah, it's flown. Um, but I've been very fortunate because I've met lots of people who are very awake now. Because obviously, once people start hitting that inbox, like the people you can get talking to is just you meet, like I say meet. I've met some of them, but the most amazing people. We're now talking about whether we just get a community together. We all just like pile in whatever funds we've got, regardless of what you've got. If you've got 20 grand, if you've got 2 grand, if you've got 200 quid for now, why don't we all just whack a load of money into a pot, go and buy some land, and literally live like Mormons? Just go and live. I don't know if Mormons is the right ones. Which are the ones that in Family Guy they build things really fast? Are they the Mormons?
No, you're thinking of what do you call that? The ones with the funny hats.
With the funny hats. They're not the
Not
Mormons,
those
are they?
ones.
What are they called?
Um,
People are going to be screaming now.
Undoubtedly.
Are you on about starting a cult?
I mean,
I'm in.
But only what the government will want to make you think is a cult. What it would be is a self-sufficient. Imagine if you went to the farmers now, given everything that's going on, you said, "Look, there's going to be 30 of us. We're going to buy like 10 acres of land, plenty. We'll buy it for a good price. We're going to go and set up on there, caravans. We'll build as we go. We'll grow our own veg and fruit. We'll have our own goats and chickens, and Ollie's not invited because there'll be chickens there. And you can
Nice to goat. You sold
set
me
up
on
like
the goat, mate.
You can set those chickens are safe.
Horny little bastards.
Ollie, you'd get bored of the goat eventually.
They'll eat anything.
You go back to your roots.
No, goats will eat anything. They'll eat grass, cans, ass, anything.
Why do you think we want goats? So I think, imagine if you could set up like your own little community school there. Do you know what I mean? And like, and people could bring their kids and just set up like your own sort of semi off-grid community.
Cult. Oh,
yeah. But you know what? You're eating good food. You're educating your kids the right way. You're relying on each other. It's a proper little community. If you want to call it a cult, call it a cult. But I think that would be the way to go. With the way things are at the minute, does that not sound like a little slice of heaven to you, Ollie? You still have internet access.
I'll
we
be
can
honest
get Starlink.
with you. I have thought of this sometimes, just to get it would be nice to be able to get them away from everything. But how safe are they? They're still on the same rock. We're still on the same fucking rock with the same bad people. At some point, those bad people are going to get in.
I think they'd be a lot safer if they weren't being indoctrinated from like the age of 2 onwards. So if they know they've got a strong community and you live and you die by this, God, it is a cult, isn't it? You live and you die by this community. You look out for each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, it does sound a lot like a cult, but I think if you can teach your kids from that sort of early age,
Yeah,
that this is our community. We're going to look after each other no matter what. We're going to look after each other. We'll grow our own food. We're going to teach you how to hunt. We're going to teach you how to fight. Like just basic things. You can still teach them the curriculum: reading, writing, maths. Reading, writing, maths. Yeah.
Genders.
Yeah. You can still teach them the things that they're going to need. But you can teach them so much more that would be beneficial to them in the system that they currently learn from the system. So things like, what is a mortgage and how should you go about setting one of those up? What about interest rates? What about, things that just are everyday things that the system, like, oh, we don't want to teach them that. No, they'll be far too like aware of the scams and the sort of the limits that we're going to try and put on them. So we'll keep them away from that. We'll teach them, Pythagoras' theorem, algebra. Like, I think they'd be a lot safer because you'd be able to build little robust, aware, non-indoctrinated soldiers for the future. It's not a cult, it's an army, Lee. It's an army. That's what we're building.
Yeah,
I've decided.
I'm sure every cult has started with those ideas, or those ideas in mind, and then you get one super charismatic guy that's like, it'll start easy. It'll be like, yeah, Wednesdays. Wouldn't it be cool if like we all wore purple on Wednesdays?
And what if we just start with the very lightly tanned ones?
And the next thing you know is that's the only guy that can fuck the women. It's like, oh no, here we are again. And then 5 years down the line, like marriage age is fucking 6, and you go, oh shit, we've done it now, bastard. How did this happen?
Well, one thing I proposed, and then some people were like, so basically just like living in the normal world, is you'd have to come up with your own sort of like
language,
political parties put together.
Manifesto.
You'd have to put together like your own, a bit like a manifesto, a bit like not manifesto. What you're on about, Rich? Oh my God, what's it? What is it they've got in America at the minute? Like the amendments, like your First Amendment, Second
Bill of
Amendment,
Rights.
rights. Yeah, like a Bill of Rights. Thank you. Your Bill of Rights on this camp. So you need to have like rules in place that you all agree upon before you start living on the land. You say, right, before we go and set up, we need to agree on these rules. By way of vote, and you stick to those rules. There's not going to be one person like ultimately in charge. Just basic things.
So
and I think
we've now drifted from cult to communism. Just want to point that out.
And this is the thing, people are like, so basically what you're saying is get a load of people together, start your own little government, and then control them from there.
Do you know something, though?
Go on.
It can't be any worse than what we've got right now. Because at the minute, there are people breaking into old people's homes and then getting away with it. They could just walk in. It's fucking insane.
To be fair, devil's advocate. So, are you on about the Canary Wharf one the other day?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, he shouldn't have just been able to walk into an old woman's house. Like, surely that's a flaw in like British law. Because what he's done technically is he's not broken the law. However, the woman that was in there, and morally, I completely agree with what she did. She chased him out with a weapon. Now, some have said it was a knife. Some have said it was like a rolling pin type thing, a stick. Like, there's been loads of different things. But she chased him up the street with that. So, and her reasons for doing that are her own. Apparently, she's got PTSD, and she was like a victim of domestic violence and things in the past. So I get it. I completely get why she would have done it, because if someone walked into my house, I probably would have reacted the same way if people were in there that I cared about. But
Mate, someone breaks into my house, I'm pinning them down, sellotaping the legs closed, their arms closed, and getting dishwasher tablets and shoving up the fucking arsehole.
I really want to break into your house.
I don't understand how that fixes the problem.
You'll never break in again.
It
You
fixes
try
nothing,
shoving
but
a
it gives-
fucking dishwasher tablet up your ass. See what happens.
The capsules aren't so bad. It's the blocky, dry ones they're the ones that you'll really struggle with. Believe me.
I've got plenty of them. Yeah, no, like her reaction was dead on. I'm surprised she didn't get fucking arrested. If I'm honest, she got off lightly.
No, she's been arrested. She's been charged.
What?
If it's the same woman, yeah, at the Canary Wharf Hotel, the Britannia on Canary Wharf.
She's been charged.
I mean, I'm 95% certain she's been charged. Yeah. It was like carrying a weapon in public, that sort of shit.
Are we talking about the one that broke into her house?
I'm talking about the migrant that was at the Britannia Hotel that went and let himself into an 86-year-old woman's house. She was blind.
Yes.
And there was her carer, / I think she was a family member who was her registered carer. And the registered carer chased this migrant up the road with a weapon in her hand.
So she just grabbed a knife from
whatever it
house.
Was. Completely justified as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if we had a bit more of that, people would probably be less inclined to break into people's houses. But I'm pretty sure I'll check as we go, but I'm pretty sure she has been charged.
Disgusting.
For like possession of a offensive weapon in a public place or whatever it's called. Yeah. So it's wild. It's wild the things people can get away with and then the things that people don't get away with. So, like, have you seen the video of the guy shouting "We love bacon" at a protest?
No.
There was a young lad at a protest, the Dalton Mosque protest. It's not a mosque yet. They're building it there. That's why the people are protesting, because they don't want the mosque there. He shouted, "We love bacon," and he was arrested there and then on the spot.
Oh my word!
It wasn't the. I don't know about the old woman, but the daughter of that woman has been was arrested.
Yeah, so I think she's her registered carer and relative.
Right.
That's
a woman tried to force her way into a hotel housing migrants after one of its residents walked into her blind mother's flat, a court heard. Caney Augustus?
Yes.
22 was part of a group of around 20 people who tried to barge into the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf, East London on Wednesday. Skipped down to the bottom. The hearing was told she returned a short time later and met she returned a short time later with a meat cleaver and started banging on the metal barriers outside of the hotel. She was later arrested at her home. Miss Augustus of the Tower Hamlets was remanded in custody to appear at Sharesbrook Crown Court on the 12th of September.
So, to be fair, in the eyes of the law, morally, I completely agree. I wish she'd have caught him. But she was outside a hotel with a meat cleaver, like trying to get in with 20 other people. So, I mean, come on. You just have to look at it objectively. She broke the law.
Yeah,
this is one of the things, right, where people have to realize, like with the stuff you're doing, Rich, like this. The action is justified. There is justification for some sort of action, but I stand by the idea. Nothing can happen if violence is brought into the picture, because it's too easy then for websites like the BBC to write articles about it, for the Guardian to like brandish every protester as some sort of like, because what that does is it gives the public perception that it's a minority of people. It's like, because you can have the small fucking right wing extremist group or something like that. Whereas if you just have mass protests on the street of just people being there, one, it sends a message to the government that when it comes to voting time, they're going to be in trouble if they don't do something. But on the back of that as well, if you destigmatize it, the stigma being far right thug, gammon does this, which I see people use like the term gammon. I think it's fucking wild when I just find it wild when you've got white people using the fucking term. They've created a fucking racial slur for you, and you're using it as a fucking joke. I don't understand. I don't understand people getting on board with that. Also, not only have they created a racial slur for you, it's 100% been injected into the public discourse. It's not natural that to all of a sudden like, oh, gammon, that's come from somewhere. That's come from a fucking think tank, and then that's been blasted across the fucking internet with a load of bots, and the next thing is you've got that word in the zeitgeist. But if you take all that shit away and just mean it, because it stops it being a far right protest, because it's not a far right protest. It's Nigel, that's your baker. It's fucking Keith, that's your mechanic from down the road. And that's where it needs to be. It needs to be people reminded that they might not be on board with that yet. They might not have got to that point in the journey. That's the craziest thing about all of this. Even the most fucking far left, the way things are going, even your most far left friend who looks at you down fucking the end of their nose because that you won't stick up for this cause or that cause, or you happen to share a Tommy Robinson post, they will come around. Because at some point, it will probably be too late when they come around, because the train will have gone off the tracks by that point. But all of these people will change their mind at some point, the way things are going.
Yeah. It's going back to what you said before, like, because I've been banging my head against a wall for months now, because I always... So like when I first started doing the very first one was the strike in the city centres, but then in the protest going forward, I've been a bit of a coward as of late, because what I'm trying to do is toe this sort of fine line down the middle, because my ultimate thing is unity. It's getting the most amount of people on board to do this as possible, because that is the only weapon we have. So in the first one, you might remember, you might not, I said, bring cakes, bring like flasks of tea and coffee, and like speak to people. If you make eye contact with someone at a protest, like speak to them, have dialogue, what's your name, where you're from? I'll add you on Facebook. Oh, we should go out for a drink sometime. Rebuild that sort of community, because turning up with a face mask on, 4, 5, 6 cans of Stella in, screaming Keir Starmer's a wanker at the top of your lungs for 2 hours, and then I was at Cresta Court Hotel a couple of weeks ago, and one of our guys threw a smoke grenade over the crowd into the lefties, and I'm like, so straight away, I looked over, I saw it was him, and the police looked at me, and I just went, it was him. Now I've been brought up on like a very, very rough council estate where I'm from. It's famous for like 20, 30 miles around. Like if you're from that council estate, people just, my missus's parents didn't want anything to do with me for the first 2 years because I was from this council estate. So I know what it is to like be a grass. But for me, like I have to, and I think we should all be doing this now. If you're seeing people like rocking up in masks, if you're seeing people, doing things, as soon as you resort to violence, you're fucked, because they can use that against you.
Yep.
If you stay like legal, keep the masks off, turn up, create like, I keep saying this, like party environment, like the old, like the Queen's Jubilee. I always go back to that.
Look
that
at the
sort
pink
of,
ladies.
That sort of atmosphere. The pink ladies. Well, we've got them on board for phase 3. I'm so excited about that.
They're great.
They are. It's that sort of like spirit it is that old British bulldog spirit, but it's also that sort of the keep calm and carry on elements mixed in with. We've always done it as the British. We've always just gone right. We're off to battle, but we've always just done it in this sort of like stiff upper lip, but also like a jovial sort of way. Like I think we're very good at sort of maintaining our dignity in very undignified circumstances on the whole. But at the moment, because you'll always get like sociopathic, narcissistic, you just get bad people on either side. I think the left are like 90% sociopathic narcissists. But on the right now, what we have are a bunch of people who think, okay, there's been a bit of an opening here. I can sort of get in here. I can put my face mask on. Do you know what I mean? I can be a bit racist in what I say, and I don't even need to like try and hide it anymore. I'll just come out with it. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
So what we're getting now, and what I'm trying to battle is trying to still like create unity and get people to these hotels. And it's not because I don't hate any of these immigrants that are in the hotels. That's the truth. And I've had so much stick for saying that. I don't hate someone because they're Muslim. I don't hate someone because they're from Pakistan. Like I don't hate anyone. I don't think I have it in me, to be honest with you, to really hate someone unless it's Keir Starmer. But you don't have to hate someone to disagree with their presence, to not want them here, to recognise that where they come from and what they come from, their ideologies, they just don't mix with ours. They don't mix with our way of life. And so to want them gone, I think you can do that without resorting to what is essentially just it's like thuggish racism at the minute. There are a lot of bad characters on both sides who are using what's happening at the moment to try and push the fact that they're just a bit of a shit person, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to sort of toe a line at the minute down the middle. But it's so hard. It's so hard. Whatever you do, you end up pissing someone off. And the right now are so fractured. Like the left are so much better than us, than the right. I don't even like left and right. It's the only words I can use to really explain it, because I don't really believe in left and right. But when you say left and you say right, people know generally what you're going on about. But the left, as it were, are so fucking good at what they do. They're so well organised. They're well funded. They have training days and all sorts.
I disagree with
we're so
that.
fragmented. They're so fragmented.
Because I think the people are the same. I think it's not. I think we need to separate the idea of the progressives from the left. I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're the same thing. And in fact, I don't even really believe that the progressive left is actually a real thing. I think it's a fetish that's been picked up by a few people, but it's supercharged by money that comes in from fucking places.
What I mean by the left is it's this sort of entity that's been created. It's been manufactured. So
they can't even get behind Labour anymore. That's what I mean about them being just as fractured.
But what I mean is,
I've not spoken to anybody who likes Labour.
Yeah.
No. There's plenty of people online, strangely, but people in the real world, yeah, no. What I mean is, like, the left, the thing that's been manufactured, this entity, is so much better than we are on what has now been called the right. So, like, patriotic movements now, people on X and Facebook and Instagram who have loads and loads of followers, they're all, like, falling out with each other. And we're not going to this protest if they're going to that protest. And, I don't like this person who works with, Britain First, so I'm not going to go to that protest because and then they'll start slating each other. And
I get what you mean. But
the left,
I don't
whether it's
think,
stand up to racism, whether it's they just fucking work together so much better than we do.
Yeah, but that's because I think they're the same. I think they're the same organization. That's the difference. There is it's almost like I was watching the thing this morning. That was a clip from the Tim Pool podcast talking about how 40% of internet traffic is now bots. Like 40% of it. It all goes deep like this whole idea of like the dead internet theory and stuff like that. I think the difference is it's because the progressive line has been used as a weapon. It's like there is no doubt in my mind that the like extreme left stuff, like the trans stuff, like the no border stuff, like in the US you had the ban the police type thing. This is what I'm looking at as like this extreme sort of fucking Marxist-esque movement. They've used that, so it's been a financial thing, and I don't think it's actually real. I think it's a completely manufactured movement that's been manufactured with huge amounts of monies from like the Soroses and fucking whoever else is thrown into that fucking kitty, to cause destabilization for whatever means that we could stop this recording right now and do an entire podcast on for what reason there is that these people who we always forget when we talk about this make their money from the Western world. So what's the deal with like trying to destabilize it and cripple it? I've no idea. That's what I'm saying. We could do a whole podcast about it, but the difference between the progressive left and the right is, I believe that when you say about these like patriot movements that are around, dotted around the place, I think they're organic, or at least some of them are organic, and that's the difference. So they will fall out with each other because you've got different people and different egos and different ideas, and there is the there's at least there's a singular message with the progressive left. The singular message. Well, it's a bunch of messages to make a singular message. It is destroy the nuclear family, destroy the separation, which is crazy from a left-wing perspective. Destroy the separation between families and state, and essentially destroy what we look at as core Western values. And that primarily, I think that it looked like that was what it was for back in 2006, when this sort of identity politics and cancellation thing started bubbling to the surface. So that's why they appear to be better organized, is because their mission is the same. Whereas I think because the right wing side of it right now, at least like the grassroots stuff, has a more diverse set of values, because you'll get, for instance, the like you say, you're getting people that use the same thing. So you'll get people that'll go like, I don't like the LGBTQ plus AI shenanigans, and realistically, when we say that, what most of us mean is we don't like the T's being taught to the kids. That's kind of like all the other letters. Fucking, I'm unsure what most of them mean, but the T's, educating the kids, I'm not down with.
A lot of the LGBs don't want the T's even
absolutely,
involved.
I follow a load of people that are like the whole LGBT without the T thing. Yeah, I follow a load of people like that. But then what you get is, this is what we say about the fragmentation, and it emboldens people to go, yeah, like those the LGBT stuff. Or maybe we should just stop those gay guys too, and then it just fucking snowballs. So I don't think we can, when you're dealing with radical ideas, it's difficult to create unity, because you can't, like, you could get on board with something, and all of a sudden you take the wrong fork down the road and go in the wrong door, and all of a sudden, like, was going, like the immigration needs to stop, and then we need to send everyone that's not white back to their own country, and you go, no, now we've gone too fucking far.
Yeah, but that's we're not at that point yet, though, are we? And I say yet,
I think
because
so.
I think
we're
out,
in parts.
No, I think most people. I don't personally, and I'm not just saying this because I'm being recorded. I do not personally know anyone who has ever said they're a different color. I think we should just kick them all out. I've seen it. I've seen it on X.
I think I've started to see, in the same way as Israel Palestine has, like, made this whole, like, maybe we should just fuck up the Jews. That seems to have bubbled up. I can see that similar sentiment, like, bubbling up, because I've always been that one to say that I still think the like we'll call that the far right. I still think the far right element in the UK is small, but I think it was small before. Like 10 years ago, it was small and unnoticeable. Now it's small, and like you can see that temperature online starting to shift with people, where people are becoming more emboldened to say what maybe they wanted to say 10 years ago. I've always said this. I've always said with the overreach of the left, I've always said what terrifies me about the overreach from the left will be the rebalancing from the right.
Yeah, because when you suppress a group of people like that for so long, and you tell them that any sort of nationalism, any sort of pride in where you're from, or any sort of, what you want to preserve, this land that your grandparents fought for, and we've been through wars for, and you actually like your British values that you've been brought up into. You actually like your food and your culture. Like, well, you must be a fucking Nazi.
And it's been an unfair fight
for so
as well.
long.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's been an unfair
and then they're
fight.
silenced on top of it. They're told that they can't speak out because if they do, they'll probably lose their job or get a criminal record. What happens then when, as soon as that weight starts to lift, people just because they've been essentially pinned down by it for so long,
and by everything. Like look at the
everything. You can't go to work now not for a month or two without doing fucking DEI training, and literally everything is geared up to everything's got an anti-British sentiment. Everything.
Look, you only need to look at you need to look for no further than Disney for this. Maybe not like anti-British sentiment, but how far like the progressive fucking train went. Disney, one of the most beloved fucking brands in the world, like created that. I mean, to be fair, I was never a particularly Disney kid, but created the childhood for generations since its inception. Turned their back on their core audience to pander to an audience that doesn't exist, and now they get confused as to where their fucking finances have gone. Why is the bottom line changed for Disney all of a sudden? So this is why you're going to get this readdressing, is because it's been everywhere, and that slow pushback has took. You talk about, what are we in 2026? No, 25. I'd argue it's been a decade. It's took from the beginning. 2015, 2016, you start to see this stuff creep in. It took a decade to start readdressing it, to start pushing back at it. That's a long time to fucking piss people off.
I think it's gone on longer than that.
Probably.
I mean, you look at, and the reason why I think it started very subtly. Would it be acceptable now for me to turn up on camera in blackface to do this podcast? Would you have an issue with that? Would you say, Rich,
well, we told you to wash your face before the show, so...
I think you should do it now.
Would you have an issue with that? Would you have an issue with it?
Listen,
you would,
the only thing I have an issue with, the only thing I have an issue with right now, Rich, is your lack of commitment.
Don't fucking tempt me.
I'll tell you what I do want to ask. What do you think the introduction to Advanced UK means for our country now? Because you're going to have, there will be some people, there will be quite a few people still voting Labour. They are going to be out there. You got Reform that kind of are. They seem to be playing it very safe and going back on some of the things that they promised. And then you've got Advanced, which sounds fucking amazing, but I don't know what it can do. To me right now, and you got Tommy Robinson the other day endorsing Advanced. I just think right now we need Labour fucking out, and this other party, it seems like that will swing a load of Reform voters across to Advance, but that means the Labour voters are still going to be voting Labour, you know. What does that fucking do?
You're missing something now.
What do you mean?
It's easier to do that because it's a worry. Yeah, I think there is far more chance of I like Reform is a new party essentially still, right? So
So's Advance.
So therefore Reform voters are, I think, much easier swayed to go with whatever the better option is. Essentially, if you've been a Labour voter or a Conservative voter all your life and you've already made the decision to vote Reform this time, I don't think it takes an awful lot to convince those people to vote for a different new party. Those people have gone, I want a new party. Yeah. The biggest risk for any political party is to Labour and it's Jeremy Corbyn's fucking bunch of weaponized fuckwits. They will be the biggest ally of the right and they've no idea that they're going to do it. They will, because they will
underestimate that party. So many people are like, Corbyn, and what's her name, Sultana. Do not underestimate that party. I'm calling it now. I think they're going to be big news come general election time. I really do.
I hope not. The reason I would say I don't think it will do is because Jeremy Corbyn has already destroyed the Labour Party.
Would their voter base care though?
No, but that's what I mean. Like the Jeremy Corbyn put the last Conservative government in power.
Mm-hmm.
He did that he elected Boris Johnson single-handedly.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well took him in on his back into Parliament. I just do not see how somebody as fundamentally unelectable as Jeremy Corbyn can help anything here. I think
So I got told by two different people who are like quite they're quite into like there's a guy called Young Bob from UKIP. He does you've probably seen quite a bit of his stuff. I was talking to him and then I was talking to another guy as well from Turning Point, and they were saying Jeremy Corbyn's quite well known on like
didn't he get attacked the other day, Young Bob?
Mate, every day he's getting attacked. Yeah, the guy's like he's off his head. He has no concept of like personal safety. He just jumps straight in. I've got a lot of admiration for him. What was I saying? Oh, Jeremy Corbyn is known amongst like the political scene to go like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without even showering. He'll wear like dirty clothes on purpose, just to make himself look slightly sort of like raggedy. Is it champagne socialism they call it?
I've always referred to him as the working man's fucking millionaire.
Yeah. And he's minted. Apparently, he's absolutely minted.
He's worth something somewhere between. I looked this up ages ago. I think his official net worth is somewhere in the range of like 2.5 million, but his actual net worth is like up somewhere like 6, something like that.
Yeah. So not. How would I word this? I say this, but then this would apply to every sort of politician, I suppose. But I just don't trust really rich people to make decisions for the rest of us. Do you know what I mean? So
no, they're all fucking really rich.
But it doesn't. This is the issue. Well, the problem is you're never going to fix that, because if you're going to take the, if anything, right, I think politicians should be paid more. I think I agree. I think the wages for politicians is too low, so that's why you end up with the good politicians running Facebook and moving to Google and stuff like that. That shouldn't be the case. If you're making the decisions for an entire country, that should be one of the highest paid, highest regarded jobs that you can possibly do within that country.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be like supposedly like 3 times the salary of the average person. It's in the same way as I think police should be paid more. People complain about police. They complain about the people that go into the police force, but that's because they're not paid well. You pay police more, you get the right people that are going to go into the right jobs. It's just the way it is. But the Corbyn thing, what could go in his favour will be the pro-Palestine. He'll get the pro-Palestine vote. Big time.
Yeah. I think just going back to when we were saying about the fact that like millionaires can't surely represent the rest of us. That's what I do like about going back to Advance UK. So because they've set up the college the way they do it, essentially, so like if let's say, for example, the whole of Reform now, leading up to the general election, everyone in Reform says, we don't want Nigel Farage as our leader. Like, they're stuck with him. He's the leader. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
The way Advance UK have set their like constitution up is, leading up to the election, if for any reason they no longer want Ben Habib because they don't think he's doing a good job, they can just vote him out and replace him. Like,
And
they
they've
have
done it
so
like that
much
by
in place.
design.
They've done it by design, and then so like in their constitution, they're not allowed to accept like outside funding from like NGOs, like
how it should be.
big multi-million pound companies. They're not allowed to accept funding from like external political sources, politicos. If you actually look into Advance UK and the way they've structured it, the way it's put together, it's kind of everything we all really want. The problem we've got is Reform got so big so quickly that anybody coming forward, and you know, I'm completely honest, like I did an interview with Richard Taylor, who's the leader of Advance UK for Wales, and they've told me like I've been discussed in the sort of the higher ups. Richard Taylor, the leader for Wales for Advance UK, he asked me outright on an interview that I did a podcast with him on YouTube a couple of days ago, and he said, "Look, would you consider like joining us properly, like, you know, going for it?" I don't know. I don't know if I could be useful right now because I'm doing what I'm doing, and I definitely wouldn't want to join any political party if I'm not useful, because I think that's half the issue we have at the moment is people just join because they want to say, you know, I'm running for a political party. They want the clout and all the rest of it sort of attached, and I don't want any of that. But I think at the minute I don't think Reform have all the answers, and I think 90% of people who support Reform know that they don't have all the answers. They're just the least worst option at the minute. The issue we've got is any sort of political parties starting up now, coming forward, could serve to split the vote. You could argue, well, that's democracy. People should have, you know, different options to vote into. But we're playing with fire at the minute because we need to put all our eggs into a basket. Do you know what I mean? So the best basket at the minute probably is Reform, as much as I don't necessarily want a Reform government. That's just, I think that's just what we're stuck with at the minute. Personally, I would prefer Advance UK. I prefer Ben Habib,
Tommy Robinson said as much as that. Like, he was asked, I can't remember what podcast it was, but he was asked if he prefer Reform over, I think it was Labour, and he says, "Well, yeah, of course I would. You know, they're the best option." But he obviously thinks that Advance can do something, and you know, I hope, best case scenario, Reform gets in. We see a change. I don't think it'll be the change that we want, and it's Reform up against Advance, like we're seeing Labour against Reform. Worst case scenario, fucking it goes fucking pear shape. It splits the vote, and Labour's back in. Jesus Christ.
What do you think would happen? I know we all say, "Oh, we're on the brink of civil war," but I think that would just fucking do it. I really do.
What if Labour got in again? Yeah. I think the
mate.
country would fucking implode.
I think there's something else to think about here, which maybe it does get brought up, and maybe I'm just a dum and I haven't heard other people say it. Is to my knowledge, there is not in not even recent history, in quite a long breadth of history, there hasn't been a British government outside of the two main parties.
I think 1918 was the last time.
Yeah,
it wasn't a Conservative or Labour government.
Yeah, and I think the Labour government started as the Workers' Party, didn't it? And then the Workers' Party morphed into the Labour Party. So that's something to think, and regardless of how iffy reform might make and how sort of wet some of the responses might be now. A reform government is nothing short of a political revolution in the UK because it's broken the two-party system. And this is why I think even if I was a left-winger, right, even if I was a rampant communist, I would want reform to come in. Because if I was in the Green Party, I would want reform to come in. If I was a Liberal Democrat, I'd want reform to come in. Because it's fucking Dumb and Dumber, isn't it? Reform get in. So you're saying there's a chance? Like, you see, it breaks the political system.
It sets that precedent, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're nailing it though there, because I think when it comes round to voting, I think there'll be people that'll probably want to vote advance, but they will vote reform because how fucking terrified they are of Labour getting back in.
Oh, mate.
I think we're saying that right now. There's a lot that can happen in the next 3 years as well. You just don't know.
I think any of the, and like you say, the only reason I don't think Jeremy Corbyn's party can become like a major contender for the to win the election within that period of time is because Jeremy Corbyn's connected to it. I don't think he can convince enough people outside of university students to vote for him.
But you could have said that about Farage before reform, because he essentially left UKIP like everyone hated Farage, and then he went on I'm a Celebrity, did like 2 weeks mucking about, like picking up sticks and having a bit of laugh with people in the camp, and then all of a sudden everyone loves him. That's in like a 2 week sort of period.
I'm not one of those people, so I had no idea he even did it.
Well, I hate TV, but I'm a celeb. I just fucking love it. And do you know what? Big Brother was all right last year as well. I'll say it. I don't care. Big Brother was all right as well. But
true story. I nearly made it through to the second Big Brother back in the day.
You'd have been perfect as well. You should have done that.
True story. I sent the video in. I had to go to a hotel in Leeds and do all these fucking weird ass exercises.
Like on a
with
couch.
Groups of people, yeah. I nearly got through to the second ever Big Brother. I think it was with Jade Goody and whoever else were in it and what have you, yeah. But yeah, there you go. Carry on.
Do you know what, right? Can we just appreciate, like, I've always known you were a prick, right? I've known this for a while. But I didn't
for Big Brother.
I didn't. No, not that like that. I imagine how many times did you audition for like fucking I'm a Celebrity, but not I'm a Celebrity, one of the music ones. I just didn't understand the fucking caliber of prick you were to get that far, to get that close to getting it like that. Yeah. Genuinely, that means you are like not top tier, because if you were top tier, you'd have got in. But like at that time in history, you were one of the worst people in the UK, because they're the only people that get on. So to even be shortlisted, like one of the worst human beings in the UK, if not the planet.
Most of them are absolutely fucking awful. It's only like every season you only get maybe 2 or 3 out of like 20 that are actually like, worth watching. So you weren't even good enough to be like a shit housemate, because they do fill the house with them. And there can't be that many people applying. There just can't be. So you couldn't even...
There were quite a few people in this hotel. Not as many in our hotels right now, but there was quite a few people there.
Hang on. How long did you have to stay in there for?
Oh, God, it was about 3 hours.
Oh, right. I was going to say, if you'd have turned around and said, I was in there for about 25 days, it was like, were you actually on Big Brother? Did they all cheer when you left? Like you just didn't realise.
No, I went out, yeah. No. Do you think Ben Habib, that's what he needs to do? He needs to go on to I'm a Celebrity?
Do you know what? I think he'd be a thoroughly lovable man if people got to see the real him when he's not talking politics and that. Yeah, I do. I think he's really endearing. I do. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Ben Habib. I'm just not a fan at the moment of... No, not a fan. I'm just so fucking scared of that vote being split and the shit that it could land us in.
I'd like Jeremy Corbyn to go on I'm a Celebrity and go full fucking communist. Like he gets he in the name of communism, he kind of takes over everything, makes sure everything's equaled out properly. None of the tasks get done properly, so like a third of the fucking housemates die of starvation. You know, I think before that's what I want.
But he's still, you know, for a fact he'd rock up and then he'd appoint himself like the leader of the communists. Like that's like hypocrisy on a monumental scale, isn't it? Like
Yes.
I want to lead the communists. Like, yeah. I just think
worst thing to happen to British politics. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
Do you see the country going to civil war?
Well, I think we spoke about this, Lee, when we did the show a while back. It was just the two of us. We spoke about civil war. I don't think it'd be civil war how people think it would be civil war. I think you'll just end up with pockets of people just basically having scraps here and there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think we've kind of seen it. I think we've kind of seen it with the trouble in Ireland. What would happen?
Yeah.
We've
just managed to get a bunch of people in Ireland to join essentially what we're doing now in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. So I've managed to get we've got a rep in Northern Ireland, just because I'm going to announce this for phase 3. I think it's absolutely fucking massive. We've managed to get our rep in Northern Ireland. We set him up a separate Facebook page for the protests, and he's now working. We've managed to hook him up with a patriotic movement in Ireland as well, the Republic of Ireland. And now what we've essentially managed to do is get the Northern Irish and the Irish working together under the Great British National Protest.
That's
I just think that's fucking
nice.
I think that'll be if we can build on it. I think it'll be fucking mega. Imagine that message to the country. Like, look at us, all of us, standing together like as one. I can't wait to see what they come with. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
I mean, best case scenario of this is you get the whole of the United Kingdom is one after this.
That's what it's all about.
All over.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. If we can get everyone just I keep saying it and it sounds dead pink and fluffy and it sounds proper cliche and I cringe every time I say it. If we can just get people to fucking stand by one another. Patriots. That's why I say I don't believe in this left and right. I believe there's just patriots and there's those who aren't patriotic. They're not like pro-British, if that makes sense. But if we can just get people to fucking unite over that Britishness, that patriotic sort of spirit.
I drove past somebody's house the other day and it had a couple of British flags just waving in the wind, and I just thought, good for you.
We've got I don't know if you've seen we've got now a massive push on flying our colours. So I've just said it on our socials, but literally all over the country now. There's even there's an X page. It's called Operation Raise the Colours. And essentially now there are huge flags being sent out. We've funded a lot of them. There is another group, I can't remember the fucking name. I only added them today. I just want to get the group name quickly because then people can, if they want to donate, they can. They're nothing to do with us. They're called Flag Force UK. They're on X. What they're doing now is they've put together a GoFundMe. They're buying loads of flags and then they're just distributing them everywhere to people. Or just go on Amazon and buy. I mean, a Union Jack flag. The one behind me is £5.69 off Amazon. But people are putting them up lampposts now. They're going on bridges. I've ordered a flagpole, like they all have in America on the side of the house. I used to think it was dead cringy. Now I think, do you know what? We should all be doing it. So everyone now, there's a massive push. It's all over X at the minute. Raise the colours, and everybody all over the country is. And again, we've got Ireland on board now. They're going to start using their flag. Northern Ireland are going to start using their flag, and everyone everywhere is just going to start plastering the UK and Ireland with flags. Like that's the sort of shit I think we need more of. So I'm glad that's happening as well.
Yeah, people need to. I think people need to be more patriotic. it's something that's been missing from this country for such a long time
Well, it's
because
been hammered
it's
out of
almost
people.
it's been hammered out, and like I remember when like you put a flag or show a flag, you can't show the flag. It's racist.
Mm.
It's deemed as racist.
Euros 2004, the Euros. My stepdad, he was a bit of a football hooligan back in the day, but he decided for the Euros 2004 we got through to I think it was the final, and I think that was the year we lost to. I think we lost to Germany, or I can't remember. Anyway, our house was just, oh my god, the side of the house, council house, semi-detached, and on the outside wall, the whole wall was covered by a massive England flag. It was like hundreds of pounds back in 2004. He put like England bunting everywhere. There was flags on the fucking roof, like every window. It was pitch black in all the rooms because there was just flags in all the windows. And the council came and knocked on. It was overkill, to be fair, but the council did come to the house, and they said there's been a few reports. People aren't happy. People are offended. And that was in 2004. We had that. That they come and I know he got a letter. I think he got a letter, and then he got a knock on the door because he didn't respond to the letter, saying like take the flags. But he put them up right at the beginning of the Euros, and then we got through to like the final. But the council got in touch multiple times to say, look, we've had multiple complaints. You need to take your flags down, and he refused to do it. In the end, he didn't do it. Nothing happened.
See, I don't believe that. I bet there was no complaints.
None. I bet there was none. The only family we had, because we talk about this every now and again, it just pops up, like every now and again when the Euros come around. There's one family back then. They lived straight across the road from us. They're a Muslim family. I don't know where they're from. Absolutely lovely. He's a taxi driver. The husband's a taxi driver, and he picked me up absolutely hammered one night from town. I didn't even recognise him. I was absolutely.
But you got in the car with him when he was hammered.
No, I was hammered. He wasn't hammered. He was yeah. Got in the taxi. He drove me all the way home, and when he dropped me off, he was like, "Oh no charge. I'm your neighbour." I was like, "Eh?" And then I realised it was him across the road, and he was like, "Yeah. No, it's in the Quran. You can't like charge your neighbour money. It's not allowed." Like he was just a love. They used to send us Christmas cards and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Even though they were Muslim, lovely family. And they were the only family like probably on the whole sort of like that part of the estate at the time. So I just can't see that they would have complained. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think they just I don't know, but it was around that sort of time period we had. There was a young lad in PE in our school, and he was either England boxers or Union Jack boxers on, and we'd had an African lad come. I think he was from Sudan. Came to the school. Their family moved to the UK, come to the school, and he put a complaint in. And the young lad, there was a load of mither over the fact that he'd worn like England.
Was that when
or
you
Union
were at
Jack.
school?
That was when I was at school. That would have been maybe like 2005, 2006, something like 2004, 2005, like year 8, year 9. So yeah, about 2005 ish.
It's so weird, isn't it?
There were little things, but like thinking back, that's probably the only two sort of circumstances where anything like that happened. But like now, it doesn't happen often, that sort of thing. I refuse to believe that it happens as often as the narrative is like pushed. But like today, I put this up, raise the colours, There was a woman that commented on our Facebook page, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to be taking part. I've put some red, white, and blue flowers in my window because I don't want to offend anyone." So I was like, "Barbara, with all due respect, like fucking get a grip." I didn't say it like this, but I was like, "Come on, like this is what they want. They want you to
come
be
on,
fearful.
Barbara. Fucking wear some Union Jack knickers.
Sort it out,
be
Barbara.
dancing in the fucking
Barbara,
street.
Get your fucking get your Union Jack bra on, Barbara, and fucking go for it. Go hell for leather in the street." But there's a lot of people like that, who still believe the narrative of the Union Jack it's synonymous with racism, isn't it? And it's been designed to be that way. That's what we need to get past.
It's fucking crazy. I mean, you wouldn't go to fucking Australia and not expect to see people with the Australian flag go. Well, that's a bit offensive. It's bonkers.
What was it? Who said the problem with the England the women's England squad is the lack of diversity? And then people put posts up like, yeah, but the Japanese squad, like they're all Japanese. like the Russian squad, they're all Russian. It's only when it's us that it's a problem.
Yeah, this is where it really, really fucking pisses me off, especially when it comes because I've heard about. I watched Liam Tufts with, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's ex RAF.
Oh yeah,
Charlie
I
Veach.
watched that.
Yeah,
No,
not Charlie Veach. No,
I'll
I
get
forgot the guy's name.
I was listening to it the other day.
But anyway, he was talking about people in the RAF employing, like, they had a big thing of diversity. So like, we need so many people of color. We need so many women. This, that, and the other. Just fucking employ the best fucking. Tim Davies, is that? Yeah, I think that's him. Yeah, just employ the fucking best person for the fucking job. The best person to fly a fucking fighter jet that just sounds like common sense to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to go, well, you know what? We need a really good brain surgeon in our practice. But we know we need somebody who's Chinese, you know.
Yeah.
I've heard he dabbles with brains, so he knows a little bit about brains. Yeah, right. Get him in. We need the Chinese guy.
Yeah, there was a great. It's
fucking stupid.
There was a great point in that podcast where they were talking about the fire service. Or was it that, or was it Rogan? It might have been a Rogan clip actually. I'm just conflating the two. Fucking how tough as it get fucking hard on. If he knew I'd confuse his podcast with Rogan, wouldn't he?
Well, they're both bald and short, so
they're both bald and short. But
who do you reckon would win in a fight? Because Rogan's old now.
Oh, Rogan would fucking destroy Tufts.
Have you seen the way Rogan
would wear him to fuck something more fucking dangerous?
Rogan can't fucking walk. Have you seen him walk? The guy's like arthritic or something. I don't know.
It's because he's stiff, isn't it? Because he's jacked.
He's just that swole.
Yeah,
maybe.
No, he's fucking like black belt in jiu-jitsu.
No, he's old. He's in his 60s now.
Competition black belt in Muay Thai. It was only a few years ago he was teaching fucking George St. Pierre how to do a fucking heel kick.
I don't know. I reckon they should do what that Britain First leader, what's his name, Paul Golding. He's doing some MMA thing with some Muslim at them for some reason. A bit like a fight.
But yeah, sorry. Back to what I was going to say. So they were talking about the LA fire squads when they essentially did a lot of DVI hiring into the fire brigade. And the whole thing was like because people care about the people need a fire officer that looks like them when they're dragging them out of a burning building. Well,
it's wild. I always say to people like people go on, like, if you say to someone like, do you want more men or more women in the police force? And people go, well, it doesn't matter. You go, okay. Some 6'4" bloke has just broken into your house in the middle of the night. You call the police and they give you the option. Do you want a 5'6" female to come round, or do you want the 6'4" male to come round? What would you pick?
Oh yeah.
Now I'm not saying that
are we
women
talking
don't have
an
their
orgy?
place in the police force, but you've got to fucking go there, haven't you, Ollie? Do you know what I mean? I say home invasion.
He's still going to go with the man.
I'm not saying women don't have their place, obviously, but this whole, 50% of
our
police force has got to be female.
Just for the people at home, where's the place?
Where's the what?
Just for the people at home, where's their place?
Where's what place? I'm lost.
You say no. I think women have got their place. Just for everyone at home, where's the place?
Well, like office work, there's always there's always like canteens and kitchens. No, I'm joking. Of course, I'm joking. Women are very good at so like most of what the police do now is like it's essentially social work. So things that require like what's it called? Not apathy. What's
empathy.
The other one? Empathy. Jobs that require that sort of thing. 100% like women tend to be better at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
However, if someone's just had their house broken into, you want to send around a couple of like big burly men, don't you?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So
I agree.
this whole like, 50% of the police force has to be female. Why? We had it in the army all the fucking time. It used to wind me up. We had she used to fucking wind me up, something unreal. She was really she was a small, dainty blonde girl, right, in basic training. Finished phase 1, got to phase 2, and she just couldn't fucking do anything. She used to cry at everything. Like, the army just wasn't for her as a person, not just because she was female, but as a person. Her the way she handled situations, like, the army just was not for her. But because of, I assume it was just DEI, because she was a fucking moron and she was unfit. She couldn't carry weight. Like, we go on fitness tests and you'd have to carry like her backpack for her, and it'd be passed around like the lads to get to the finish line, and then she'd pass the fitness test even though she carried none of the fucking weight. You do tests like BCD, it's called, like battlefield casualty. So it's essentially like your first aid and all the rest of it. She used to these were like dummies with like the splurty blood coming out the arms, and she'd freak out and panic because she didn't like blood, even though she knew it wasn't real blood. She was just useless, and they passed her through absolutely everything, and she promoted far quicker than I did, and it's wound me up ever since. But this is what fucking happens, right? Because it was better on paper that she did really well, and promoted. I think she's like a fucking staff sergeant or something now. I left as a lance corporal, so only the second rank up. I only did 6 and a bit years and left. But I think she's still in now. She's like a staff sergeant, so she's leading like hundreds of men at a time. And I think to myself, God, the things they must have to put up with, because she was just useless. But it was that sort of DEI thing. There was loads of it. It wasn't just her. It's everything. It's in the army. It's in the RAF. It's in the police force, and we can see it.
Well, when you looked at that footage that came out from the Manchester, the two lads that fucking attacked that guy at Starbucks, and then the police got involved, and then the woman, she got punched in the face, and you saw all the body cam footage of that. It's like you needed in that fucking police station fucking massive fucking police officers. You need police officers that you don't fuck with. That's what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there was one there, but it's, you want the best of the best. See, I don't get it.
Right. I have because I've watched that footage myself. And I've got such a split fucking opinion on it, because I'm very acutely aware that if that had been somebody that was protesting at something that maybe I agreed with, or something like that was treated that way and got their head fucking stomped, I'd probably have a different opinion on it. I don't believe. And like the people that replied to that thing said, "Yeah, we fucking deserved it, didn't he? Fucking deserved it." I don't believe any police should be fucking stomping on heads of anybody, regardless of what's happened. Right? Regardless.
I think one of the things though that he said that he thought he was going for his gun.
Apparently so, but like, I've watched that video, and I'm not a trained police officer. I've only seen that video. I can't understand how that was the thought, because the threat looked fucking neutralized at that point to me.
So I did training for op tempora. I don't know if you ever heard of what op tempora is.
No, mate.
Essentially, if there's like a terrorist attack on the street, when the army are brought out to work with the police, and you'll see the army stood with the police with the weapons in town centres, etc. That's called op tempora. When you are unarmed, you have to disengage the threat in a very different way to when you are armed. If you believe, so say for example, so he was an armed police officer. They are taught as part of their training, because we did it very briefly, not as in depth as they do. If you think that person is about to get back up, you do anything required to keep them on the ground, because if they do get back up and they do get control of your weapon, it's all fucking over. Mm-hmm. So the rules of engagement are completely different when you've got a firearm on you, because what you have to do is essentially incapacitate that person. Not obviously not kill them, but if you can knock them out, do it. You have to do everything you absolutely can. And that's the same with GMP, with the Met Police, Cheshire Police, North Wales. They all have the same policies on rules of engagement when carrying a firearm. And that is essentially, do not fucking let that person get back up.
So
render them useless, cuff them.
Here's the part that why I'm split on it, because I'm the same with it's a much more high stakes version of how I felt about the demonization of protest when it came to like the Insulate Britain and stuff like that, where because I was worried that people would get to the point, which I think they have done, where they would get such protest fatigue that it would spill out onto everything and protest would stop meaning anything when we actually need to protest for something like thing. So the idea of like police brutality for me is, I don't like the idea of that becoming a thing that's seen all the time and then accepted, and then the next thing is, especially when you, because like your police force, I would argue, is only as good as the government you have. Do you know what I mean? We saw in COVID how quickly that what you would consider good people would go, oh well, if he needs arrested for going to get a loaf of bread when he shouldn't be getting a loaf of bread, suppose we're going to have to arrest him. Got to do my job. So that's where I worry about it. But the way where I'm split on it is, I do believe that the situation where that officer was put in the position that he had to do that would have been solved if the other officers if the other officers he was with weren't dealt with by like a single person within fucking minutes. He wouldn't have had to be in that position where he did it.
Yeah. It's tough, innit? Because these police officers that were there at the time. I mean, one was she looked to me like quite a petite. The ginger girl that got punched in the nose.
Yeah.
She had a nose broken open and stuff. Like, I don't know if either of you guys have ever been punched in the nose. Like it's shit. It just is.
I've been kicked in it.
Have you?
Yeah. I had to have an operation
Today.
afterwards. Like I got jumped once, and
you surprised me.
Yeah, I ended up like a month later having to get like a nose operation because I couldn't breathe properly.
That's what they left you with.
Shit.
It is shit, but I don't know if you've seen the footage of the absolute meltdown she had afterwards.
Yes.
Like, yeah. And I have full sympathy for anyone who gets bopped in the nose because it does hurt. But the absolute meltdown she had afterwards, that must have been her very first time in that sort of situation where someone had been hostile towards her, because she just completely lost it. When you actually look at the footage, and I don't know if it's different to me, like I say, the training I've had on it was very basic compared to what the police get now. They were shit. They were just shit. They did not take control of that situation whatsoever. They allowed these. I mean, there were three of them, weren't they? These men.
I think it was two.
I think still haven't been sentenced yet.
Yeah, I think it was two. But if I'm wrong, there was only really one.
Two and the mum.
Right. Okay.
I can't remember.
Mum was just trying to,
and that's nuts.
Calm down,
the fact
lads.
that you're just like, oh, it's just another incident. Like, it was massive, but it's like, I can't even remember. But there's that much coming at us. It's so hard to remember things now. But that police officer in particular, and everyone on the scene really initially, they were just a bit shit. Like, I want the police going in there, and I know you say no one should get their head stomped on, and I agree with that. But I want our police to be like almost like a bit more sort of militant. Like, they should have been straight in there, fucking get hold of them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, we've all been on holiday, haven't we? Even when you go to Spain, you ain't gonna fuck with a Spanish police officer in an airport.
Yeah, they're scary, those police. Yeah,
but you feel
even
safe.
On the streets. Yeah, like you go out into Magaluf or wherever, and they're walking around, and you just look at them and you think they're units. Every single one of them, they're absolute units.
Yeah, but
you feel safe.
Know that anything goes pear-shaped, they're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, that's what you need. And I know, Lee, potentially you might not like this, but you need. I think
Right, but
you
you
need
keep
people
saying
to
this,
be
but every
scared of
single
the police just a
right,
little bit.
awesome, but that means every single one of these people that you'd be scared of are working for the British government, which right now is looking like one of the most fucking scary things we've ever seen.
Hmm. And this is the thing. So I don't think the police ever used to be this centralized, because they used to have like obviously now you get like Cheshire Police, North Wales Police, Met, GMP, whatever.
Well, the community like community policing is something that, I mean, it's even fell away on a small island like where I live. I imagine
Yeah,
it's
it's
almost
gone.
non-existent in the UK.
It's gone. I hear stories of like of my mum saying, "Oh, if the local bobby got hold of you, he'd give you a clout round the ear, drag you home to your mum's house, and then your mum would give you a clout round the ear." And I sort of think, do you know what? That's yes, okay. Like you don't want like men hitting kids, police officers, but surely we've got to sort of edge towards that. Like, how would I word this? Police are just too fucking soft now. And it's not. I don't think it's necessarily their fault. There was a video that came out yesterday. There's a police officer. She sat down at a desk. She's a police sergeant, and they're saying it got leaked, the video, but she's clearly giving some sort of interview where she says 90% of your time is just filling out forms.
Yeah, so
You're not doing any real policing anymore.
so is that not by design though?
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe that's by design. 100%. There's
Because what you want is, and again, like I say, everything comes back to COVID. If that hadn't been fully implemented before COVID, I think you would have you might have had a slightly more, but a slightly bigger problem. I know a few cops. Like it's not that I don't know people that have been involved in the police service, but like I'll never not get dragged back to this. So for instance, guy over here, he might be an interesting guest for the podcast at some point. Actually, he went off and he did the whole like studying with Wim Hof thing, to doing the old ice baths and things like that, and came back really into that like alternative healthcare stuff. In fact, like his whole business over here now is he takes like mobile saunas around and mobile ice baths and does that sort of thing. I think he's even got like a float tank and stuff like that in a separate place. But during lockdowns, he put on social media and saying, "Look, no one get together, but I'm just saying, I will be going down to one of the beaches over here. I'm going to go and swim tomorrow." So he goes for a swim on his own. Some other people come down to swim as well, and their thing, because they got this. You're only talking like 5 or 6 people. Motherfucker was arrested for going for a swim on his own. He was arrested, went through the whole thing. He fucking did well though. Like he represented himself and everything. He got the fucking charges thrown out. Like he won the fucking battle.
And this was the same lockdown where Keir Starmer was getting voice lessons on Christmas Eve during the lockdown. He was having strangers coming to his house to give.
But we're only told about the Tory parties. Even though there's video footage of him stood drinking a bottle of lager with his cabinet around him. So but they were working late, so that's fine. I wish people could just come to the conclusion that they're all fucking assholes. But the top and bottom for me, I will never trust the police ever again. I'll never trust them. I'll never trust the power that they have. Because not one of them on a small community like where I live came out and said, "This is fucking wrong."
Mm-hmm. We saw that in France. I can't remember what it was, but there was this.
No, it was Sweden, I think. Where
the police turned around and said, "This is wrong."
Off. The police took their helmets off.
Yeah, that was amazing.
With the protesters.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Sweden, somewhere like that. It was a European country anyway.
That was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Or maybe it was...
I want to say Norway.
Maybe they were Dutch as well, I was thinking, because the Dutch were pretty fucking based on all that shit too.
But see, at the same time, to play devil's avocado, you're gonna lose your job.
I don't care. I'm
with Lee on this one. Yeah.
Do you think I would have done that?
No,
no.
But what I'm saying is, at what point do they know? Because you don't know what they're being told in their so every day they'll get a briefing, and every day they'll get told this, and every day they'll get told this is why you need to do it, because we need to keep these people safe.
So we're saying
otherwise there's going to be fucking chaos.
So we're saying our entire fucking
mate, I don't agree with it.
So we're saying our entire police establishment is that weak-willed and weak-minded that they can be fucking brainwashed for the morning briefing.
I think Ollie's just saying it. And I think what Ollie's getting at,
they're indoctrinated.
Is when you're brainwashed on that sort. I was in the army. It wasn't until I left the army I was like, whoa, what is going on? There were things that led up to me leaving the army that just questioned my fucking existence. But there are police officers now. I had to delete a live stream. I was at Cresta Court Hotel a couple of weeks ago because 2 of our guys got arrested and taken off because they were shouting and they were swearing, which was a public order offence.
Yeah. Section 5.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. Sound. Okay. Shouldn't have been shouting. Shouldn't have been swearing. You're a fucking adult. Don't be screaming. Whatever at people at protest. Told you to fucking stay peaceful. You've not done it. So yeah, off you go. However, across the road from us, literally 12, 13 feet away, there were the pro-Palestine lot stood there with their Palestine flags, shouting, fuck you, you fucking Nazi, like all sorts of just... I panned over with my phone, doing the live stream, over to a police officer that was stood 10 feet away from this group, and I zoomed right in on his face, and I said, police officer, I said, I would like to report a crime, Section 5 public order offence, and he looked straight at the camera and he just shook his head and he went, I'm not allowed to do anything, and he looked away. And the live stream went up and there was loads of comments on my Facebook saying, what does he mean he's not allowed to do anything? Someone needs to find out who this police officer is. And in the end I deleted it because I've still got it on my phone, but I deleted the live stream because I didn't want him getting in shit, do you know what I mean? But the amount of people, like, I speak to the police officers now when I go to these protests, and I'll just speak to them, I'll just say, look, what do you think? And they're like, well, I can't really say what, if someone hears me, I disagree. I think they should ultimately, like, you're policing a country that's falling apart. Like, these people need to, all it would take is 1 or 2 police officers to come out and say, do you know what? Fuck, I'm done. And go public with it. And talk about the things. Yeah, all right, they'd lose their pension. I get it.
Do you know the wild thing is? Do you know
there's bigger things than your fucking pension, surely. You'll get another job. You can...
But do you know what I think's really fucking cowardly about it is if you were that worried about that, right? And it doesn't have to be everybody. I'm not saying like fucking social media influencer is the job for everybody. You wouldn't have to fucking worry about your job.
No.
You be the guy that comes forward. If you're listening to this, and like especially maybe if you do a bit of YouTube stuff as well, and you happen to be a copper, you be the guy that comes out. You get fired. You get in touch with trigonometry. You get in touch with the Free Speech Union. You get in touch with Liam Tufts. You're a fucking household name by the end of the month.
Mate, they just need to be like a protest that Charlie Veach is filming or something like that. That's all it'd take.
But look at that RAF guy. That's what you need. That RAF guy fucked his entire career up because of what he was doing, and because of the videos he was making on YouTube. And you don't. Maybe I'm sure there's people that will listen to that podcast with him on Liam Tufts. Go, I don't particularly like that guy. I did particularly like that guy. I
liked him.
I think we need more fucking men like that. Like the.
I'm subscribed to his channel. I've been subscribed for a while.
I'd never heard of him before.
He makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But that's like I won't forget that sort of stuff. I won't forget. I know a guy in his 60s that lives. This was second lockdown over here as well, because we didn't have it quite. It was on and off over here. And we were kind of the thing was like it was in that point where people like me and enough people as well were going like, oh, hang on a second, I'm not sure I'm scared of this anymore, and I think I can see through this. So that was the thought. It was after the whole like, we're gonna die, we should probably wipe our beans down. And he lived 60 seconds away from the co-op. Fucking 70 if he hits the traffic lights wrong when he crosses the road. I like the guy. He was a good guy, interesting fella. He was in clear like cognitive decline. He had like maybe Alzheimer's, maybe something else, was something like that. You could see, just when you speak to people and you can kind of get on, but you go, oh, I don't quite know what's going on inside your noggin, but it's not what it used to be. But like, he had this insane life. He used to manage the fucking Style Council. Then he was involved with the Jam. He owned a nightclub in Ireland. He turned down U2 for management because he didn't like Bono. Like the amazing life he had. And he tested positive for COVID, lived on his own, and needed food. And he walked to the shop and bought a loaf of bread, and he was arrested and put in prison for buying a loaf of bread. And he never recovered from that, and he died a few months later. I will 100% believe that the officer, I don't know who it was, but the officer that was in charge of arresting that man that day had a hand in murdering that guy. I 100% believe that.
How could you, as a police officer, turn up to that call and not say, "Do you know what, mate? Let's just take a walk home, yeah?
Just don't do this again, right? Just don't do this again. Fucking
don't say
stay
anything
in your house.
to anyone.
You're on lockdown."
Yeah. Anything other than that is just
ex-headmaster of a school as well. English teacher, ex-headmaster of a school over here. It's not, the guy, especially in the village, was known like, fucking
a loaf of bread.
And that's where, like, I suppose, like, I've always been kind of an anti-establishment kind of guy at heart, but like that was that point then. It's that point where you start. It doesn't matter anymore. That's the thing.
Is, though, we do need them. As much as you might not like
them.
Of
course we do. Oh yeah, I'm not an anarchist.
But do you not think that before some of these protests, there is a briefing in the morning, and they will say to them, "Listen, you may want to fucking join them. You may want to do this, but we need you to stay because of X, Y, Z, because otherwise it's all going to fall apart, and then there's going to be chaos." They will be indoctrinated into the system to know that there is a greater good to why they're doing what they're doing, even though I believe it is wrong what they're doing. I do believe that they should stand up, but I don't think they can. And you've also, like, you've got a job, I've got a job, Rich has got a job, right? They some of these will have been doing all that all their life, and they don't know how to do anything other than what they do. They've got a pension, and they'll probably have kids, and like, I fucking hate this. I fucking hate what I do. This I don't believe in. They'll be going to Sarge. The day that I had today. Wait a second.
How have they not got
the
to the
day
point
that
where
I had
gone,
today?
You know what? How have they not got to the point where they're like, okay, yes, I'll have a pension in 40 years' time, 30 years' time, 20 years' time. However, what the fuck am I going to be doing with that pension in 20 years' time with the way this country's going?
And how many things do I have to turn a blind eye to? Look, I won't get into too many details on this, or even though it's common knowledge over here. I just think it's decency. There was a sexual assault over here. If you fill in the blanks of what with kind of stuff we've been talking of, you won't fall far from the fucking mark. The person was young but legal. We'll go that far. That was months. Like, and all of a sudden it just came out. There was a trial. Someone was charged. Went to prison. Good. But I live on an island of 80,000 people. Nobody fucking knew about it. No whispers. No fucking community gossip. Nobody had heard anything about that. Shit. That freaked me the fuck out. So this is the problem with this sort of thing. Yeah, right. There might be pensions. Yeah, there might be. I've got to think about my job. Okay, that's great. But what's being lost in the meantime?
Oh yeah, the soul is definitely being lost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
They probably know that.
I just don't understand. Maybe again. I just don't. I don't understand it. And maybe that's because I'm not in that position. I'm not saying I don't.
You don't see any, like, right now. You don't see an ex-police officer going on fucking Liam Tufts or Andrew Gold and speaking about what's going on. How come that's beyond me?
Because once you're a police officer, you go the distance. Like their probation period's like, is it 3 years now? It was 2 years. Now it's 3 years. So, like, it's 3 years before they're even allowed to, like, go out by themselves to be a police officer. And then they do 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years in the force. And all they've known day in, day out is the public are fucking scum because they get treated like shit by the public. Day in, day out, they're getting spat at.
Look,
they're getting hit, kicked.
I'm fucking
the public
down with
become
that.
a nuisance to them. So once the public are a nuisance, why would you ever, first of all, want to join them when you have the safety, of being part of a unit, a team, a family within the police force? Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing with the army. I mean, we were taught basically civvies are shit. Like, that they're unfit, they're unmotivated, they're not as good as us, they're not as fit. That they didn't sign up for their country. We were told, they're stacking shelves at Tesco. Like, there's anything wrong with that? Do you know what I mean? But you're taught that sort of shit just day in, day out. It's drilled into you. However, as someone who's gotten through that and come out the other side, anybody who's listened to me speak for 5 minutes will know I am not an above intelligence guy. I'm fairly fucking down the middle. However, even I got to the point where I thought, hold on, something's off here. Mm-hmm. Now, I could have stayed in the army and had an amazing pension and got a house for £132 a month. I think we were paying for a 4-bed house at one point. Like, the benefits were mega. But I got to the point where I thought, nah, something's off here. I need to get out of this. And you're telling me all these police officers, they're not all morons. Yes, some of them will be, but there's a lot of... My cousin, I don't really want to dox her. She is a police officer in a big police force. She's also a member of Mensa. So she's part of the high IQ society. She's flown up the ranks in the police force. She's done really well. Her husband is a detective inspector. They blocked me on all socials, won't even engage in conversation. I've tried dropping a message just to say, look, come on, let's have a talk, sort of thing. Don't get anything back. The indoctrination runs so fucking deep. It's unreal. It is unreal.
This is what I was getting at.
Turn their backs on family to the point where they won't even have a conversation.
But it's
through fear of what could happen to them.
Like, it's not an excuse.
They're cowards.
It's not an excuse, but indoctrination is indoctrination. How do you fucking get out of that?
Brainwashing is effectively.
How do you get out of fucking... I mean, I'm not going to say that they're in a cult, maybe, but how do you... It is a cult. How do you get out of it?
The police force is a cult. It is. It's a cult. We used to say it all the time in the army. This is like a cult. It just is. Brainwashing is effective, but surely some of them must get a couple of years in and think, this isn't right.
This is my thing, because I know scientifically brainwashing is effective, but I also hear that the school system is just brainwashing people. But that's always been said about the school system, that we've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed by the media. We've been brainwashed by the television. We're brainwashed by fucking movies. We're constantly told that everything around us is brainwashing. Yet, there is still 3 people here on a show called the Daily Conspiracy Podcast that goes out to tens of thousands of people, which is one of many shows like this of varying sizes. So if brainwashing works,
there ain't no other show like this, Lee. Don't.
No,
fucking...
but if brainwashing has worked, it's not doing a very fucking good job of it.
The difference is none of that brainwashing that you just mentioned pays your bills. Being in the police and being in the army does.
But then it's not brainwashing; it's bribery,
and that's when they're trapped.
That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I think it's a mixture of the both. I think when you mix those two together, it's particularly effective because even if you do break through the brainwashing, you must arrive at a point where you go, "Fucking hell, all I need to do is push another, 10 years, and my house is paid off." Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Maybe things will get better. Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe the mixture of the two is why it's so effective. But I agree with that. I don't know why more people haven't come forward. I just don't. Surely there must be people within the system who
to be honest, mate, I don't.
Right.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's the. I think most people, right? Most people know what's what. I think nowadays as well, but we'll take it back to the only thing that ever happened. When you speak to most people now about COVID, most people are switched on. Very few people, if you actually speak to them face to face, like in person, and you go, that was all bullshit. Even like vaccinated people now, well, like you rarely get.
Wish I never got the job. Yeah.
So that's I don't
think there's one person alive that didn't say that.
Yeah, but this is my point, is that those people. I don't believe it's not brainwashing which doesn't keep them from speaking. It's the worry of looking silly. Do you know what I mean? Like most people aren't scared of like raising their head. They're scared of being shamed. And that if there's any brainwashing that's really being done, it's the brainwashing that's made people feel like they're islands, that they're just separate from everybody else. That's the real thing. Because then you do a risk, and you've got to shed like to do, even just to do this stuff. Certainly to do what you're doing, Rich. To do podcasts like this as well. You have to understand that at some point, somebody's going to look at you like you're a fucking weirdo. It always drags me back to David Icke when he turns around about that interview he did with, who was it? Who was this famous interview with where he was said he was
Terry
the son of
Wogan.
God? Wogan, yeah. And he was made into such a laughingstock that it basically made him go, well, it doesn't matter now. I'm fucking free because everybody thinks I'm a lunatic anyway. I'm just going to say what I actually think about things. And I don't think there's enough people that are willing to cross that threshold. So it's not necessarily that they're brainwashed into submission. They're scared into submission.
Yeah.
I think people need something to happen to them to get through that. So like,
I bummed Ollie.
Same. I used to really care what people thought about me, like even back in the day. So like, I used to sing quite a lot when I was younger. I got this talent spotted. I got sent down on a train, all fully paid for, down to The Voice when that first started. The first
Are you
season.
going to sing with the
Jessie
Pink
Jane,
Ladies, mate?
Maybe. I mean, never rule anything out, right? And I went down on the train. They paid for it all, hotel. Like you have to go through like 7 auditions before you even get a chance at going on the actual TV bit for your first audition. But I couldn't even. By the time it got to the last audition, before it was like, right, this is your bit now to go on TV. I was going to be going on TV that day for the first audition. Couldn't get off the train because what if I made a fool of myself? So I stayed on the train and just got the open return back, straight back, literally from where I live, which is, fuck it, I've already said it before, Chester, all the way down to London, and then back again, because I couldn't get off the train because, well, what if, people mocked me or I didn't do very well or whatever. Always caring what people thought about me, to the point where, like, I've always had really bad anxiety. I've had bad anxiety for years, to the point where, like, years ago when it was at its worst, I used to go into, like, social situations where I'd meet new people and I'd be trying to work out what they were thinking about me whilst I was talking to them. And then I did this, and I put the first video out for the Great British National Strike, and I just got fucking rinsed in the comments, mate. And I was reading them all, to the point where I was just like, well, fuck it, it's done now. And then slowly, like, the bots started to, and the real comments started to come through, and they weren't all bots. Like, of course, my hair was fucking stupid and all the rest of it. I get it. I'm ginger and slightly chubby and all the rest of it. Like, I take that on board. That's fine. But the real comments started to come through, and I was like, well, do you know what? I've already said stupid shit that I look back and I cringe at. Like, I've already put videos up and like, I've said the wrong thing, and I look back and I think, why did you say that? But do you know what? Shit happens. Stop caring about what people think and start caring about what you think, and voice what you think. Say what you think. If people are going to take the piss out of you anyway. Do you know what I mean? So just I don't really know what a point is, other than people are going to take the piss out of you. It's just a fact of life. Just get on with it.
Own it. Move forward.
And own it. Speak up. Do you know what I mean? Keep pushing forward. Fuck them.
What's going to go down for phase 3 then? Tell our audience.
Oh, this is what we're looking at. So we're probably going to announce it Wednesday.
Tell us what you can.
We're going to have a big protest at the Home Office. We're then going to roll into...
Just quickly, bear in mind this won't go out till Wednesday.
Oh, okay. We're going to be... Wait, what day is it today? Monday. Oh, yeah, because you're on your new schedule now, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So does this not go out tomorrow? This goes out Wednesday?
No, we can put this out. We can put this out Wednesday if you want. Because we've got
do what you want. It is what it is. Do what you want.
We've got an episode queued up to go out tomorrow. So when people have listened to this, they will have already listened to our interview with Professor Simon.
Right, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Westminster. So there's 3 stages to phase 3. The first one is we're going to be protesting outside the Home Office. A couple of days later, we're then going to go to all. So again, like in the same sort of vein as what the first phase was, we need to get to our local councils. We need to start protesting outside all of our local councils. And then what I'm going to try and push to do is go straight. So that'll be on the Monday, outside the local council's offices, and then roll straight into a citizen-led lockdown / opt-out of the system. So Tuesday, Wednesday, people just fucking down tools. They just stay at home for 2 days. And the reason why I've done this is because, and a lot of people have said, well, people can't afford to take time off work, all the rest of it. And I get that. I really, really do. However...
Stay at home, save Britain. I like it.
Yeah, if we can't convince people to stay at home for 2 days, we're fucking lost as a nation. We've already got the Pink Ladies on board. We've got a network of 100,000 veterans who are going to be taking part in the protests. Again, we've got the farmers confirmed. I'm currently speaking to Tommy Robinson. There's some really big names who have got a few meetings set up. Whether they're going to push it, it's whether they take part in it or not. The plan is to essentially drop like what I've dubbed like an X bomb, if you like. So if all of the main accounts, like your Tommies, your Liam Tuffs, Active Patriot, well, not he's in jail at the minute, British Patriot, like big accounts with like millions of followers, hundreds, if we all announce it at the same time, it should trend in the UK at least. And then what we need to do is we need to coordinate it so that the farmers are turning up, the Pink Ladies are turning up. Like I say, they're all confirmed, but we need, a lot of it falls into that. If you can essentially shut the country down for 48 hours, I think it was 4 days during the poll tax riot / strikes that saw Maggie Thatcher leave office. I think it lasted for 4 days. If we do 2 days at the moment with the way the shape the country's in, There was a guy, I can't remember his name, he went on to Heretics and he said that the UK is 48 hours away from like financial collapse. If everybody just stopped for 48 hours, the country would just collapse. Like we'd be finished. So I'd like to get to the point where after the first day, the government are like, right, okay, let's like they did during the poll tax protests / riots / strikes. We've got to up the ante because we can't. The protests are good for unity, but for me, that's all they're really doing is they're creating unity, which is fantastic because that's what we need. That's our weapon. However, we need to make a decision now. Do we carry on doing this, in which case we probably won't get any further along, or do we start upping the ante now? And the way we need to do that is to put real pressure on local councils, local MPs, and then ultimately the government. So, yeah, protest outside Home Office. Then we're going to go to our local council's offices a few days later and protest outside of there, and then roll straight into a 2-day citizen-led opt-out lockdown. Just everyone just stay home. Kids at home, you stay at home. Don't go to work. Whether you need to book holidays, whether you need to phone in sick, whether you just need to not turn up, that's up to you. But we need something like this to happen. We're looking at October to get it done. I don't know, what are your thoughts? We need to up the ante, otherwise it's pointless. It's literally pointless. It's convincing people to take part in those 2 days.
Large scale mass compliance is the way forward. The only problem I think we'll have is the like you say, people, especially people who are working paycheck to paycheck, especially people that work week to week. But there will be enough people out there that live week to week to the point where they take 2 days off in a week and they go, oh right, well I can either not put away the money for my bills for the end of the month, or I don't buy food for the week for me and my family.
What would be a good alternative? The system, the way it is at the minute, what would be an alternative to saying to people, look, just stay off work for 2 days, go sick?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't. I'm unsure.
So what I did was I put a post out today, and in it, I can say this now because it's Wednesday by the time this goes out. What I did say towards the end of the post, it was about flying the flags. What I did say was towards the end of the video, I'm going to be announcing phase 3 soon. Maybe, just maybe, we should have like a 2-day citizen-led lockdown. And the people who commented on it, I'd say like, I've not seen one comment saying no, but the amount of people who've like, yes, this is what we need. This is what we need, 2 days off. If I don't pay me Sky bill, it doesn't get paid. So I'm hoping that would reflect on like the wider, population. But I guess there's only one way to find out.
I hope so.
There's only one way to find out. You've got to call it,
Yeah.
When you say you've been in talks with Tommy Robinson, is he going to help with this?
So he's going to be turning up to the Westminster one, for definite. It's just Tommy's got a lot of issues now. So going forward, so like he's still not out the woods when it comes to like legal, like his legal issues, etc. But he's helping in the ways that he can. So like we set up a protest at a council office this week just gone, and he shared it on X for us and stuff like that. He reposted it. So he's willing to help. It's just how far he's willing to go, because like I say, he's got his own issues at the minute, his own sort of legal battles. But there's huge accounts out there. There's huge accounts at the minute that have essentially signed up. I've basically added us all into like a group chat. I said, look, when I push this out, I'll pass you the links. Will you just fan it everywhere? And they've all said yes. So hopefully, like I say, we can get it trending, like we've done with like just today with the flags. That's all over everything at the minute. Hopefully we can do that and get people to sort of rally together. Like I say, if we can't convince people to stay at home for a day or two, where do we go from there? And I get it's
where can they find you? Where can they find you? Where's the support?
Just type the Great British National Protest. I don't know why I put British and National. It's a mistake of mine. The Great British National Protest. Go on Facebook, X, TikTok. or just you can type it. You can just type it in Google now, and it'll come up. It'll tell you that I'm like a Nazi and a far right and a fascist and all the rest of it. But just click on it
Yeah,
anyway.
but we know
it'll
that
take you
now.
straight to our links. Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. It's like a badge of honor now.
Well, everyone knows what I want them to do. I want them to go and check out all the links that are in the description. I want them to vote for us in the British Podcast Awards. Share the picture of you voting for us on the British Podcast Awards. I hope you're enjoying the new show that we put out this week. There'll be another bite-sized podcast next Monday as well. This week you will have already had podcast this week, and the omnibus should be out on Friday. Other than that, I think that's all I've got to say.
We good.
Ollie,
Yes,
take it
darling.
out.
I've got nothing for you other than if you fucking break into my house, you are getting a dishwasher tablet up your asshole.
Mm-hmm. Baby.
So consider yourself fucking warned.
I bet the Powerball. I bet the Powerball bit takes ages to dissolve as well.
Mate, I've got a fucking bag full of them. Bag. They say those things. They say keep them away from kids because they can make them blind. Imagine having a shitload of dishwasher tablet. Imagine the police coming around to your house and saying, "What happened?" Well, he broke into my house. What was so? What's happened to him? Well, he's got his ass is full of dishwasher tablets. He asked for it.
His asshole's cleaner with Calgon.